Okay, let's just jump right in. When I say the word Anaheim, what's the first thing that pops into your head, honestly?
I mean, for, 99% of people, it's a mouse. A mouse with giant ears and a big castle.
Exactly. Or maybe, if you're a big sports fan, you're thinking about the Angels or the Ducks. But for the most part, the world sees Anaheim as this ultimate tourist town.
Right. Family vacations, sunscreen, overpriced food, long lines. That's the brand.
But today, we're going to look at Anaheim through a completely different lens.
A much quieter lens.
Right.
And frankly, a much more interesting one.
We are looking at Anaheim as a kind of nerve center for high-stakes corporate networking, for executive travel. And we're doing it specifically through the lens of, well, golf.
It sounds a little niche, doesn't it? But it's actually this fascinating microcosm of how business really gets done in Southern California.
And we aren't just talking about the sport. We're not critiquing swings or talking about the speed of the greens. We're talking about the logistics of it, specifically this idea of golf course transportation.
Right.
And I know what you're thinking, why do I need a whole deep dive on, taking a taxi to a golf course?
And that is the fundamental misunderstanding, isn't it? This is not about just hailing a ride. This is about strategy. It's about the friction of travel.
Let's talk about that friction, because anyone who has ever flown into LAX or John Wayne knows the California dream version of driving.
Oh, yeah. The Beach Boys version.
Totally. Convertible, top down, Pacific Coast Highway, wind in your hair. But then there's the reality.
The cold, hard reality.
You get a rental car that kind of smells weird.
Yeah.
You merge onto the 405 or the 5 freeway, and that dream just, poof, it dies instantly.
It evaporates. You are not cruising. You're in combat. You're fighting across 5 lanes of traffic. Your GPS is recalculating every 30 seconds because of some fender bender.
It's the great equalizer, right? It doesn't matter how important your meeting is, the 405 freeway does not care about you. And that's the problem we're looking at today. Imagine you're an executive. You've flown in for a huge negotiation. You're meeting a potential client at some prestigious club for a round of golf. This is where the deal gets done.
The golf course is the boardroom for a huge slice of business in Southern California. It just is.
The stakes are high. Millions of dollars could be on the line.
Extremely high. Now, you have to ask yourself, do you really want your mental energy, your bandwidth, consumed by fighting traffic in a car you don't know?
That's the nightmare scenario. You show up, you're sweating, you're stressed because you couldn't find the entrance, your cortisol is through the roof, and now you have to hit a perfect tee shot.
You've already lost. You've sabotaged the performance before you've even put on your golf shoes.
So the solution, and the topic of our sources today, is specialized golf course transportation. We're digging into material from Limo Service Anaheim and some broader industry analysis. And the mission for this deep dive is to really unpack the strategy of the arrival.
It's a great way to put it.
We're going to look at why Anaheim is the perfect launch pad, the different personalities of these top local courses, and the actual tangible benefits of using a professional chauffeur.
And it really all comes down to a phrase that kept popping up in the research: mental bandwidth.
I love that concept. So let's dig into that first. The psychology of the ride. Why does a service like this even exist? Who is it for?
Well, it targets a very specific persona. The executive, the business traveler, or even just the serious golfer. These are people who value punctuality and professionalism above almost anything.
Because in their world, being late isn't just rude, it's a signal that you're unreliable.
Precisely. But let's go back to that mental bandwidth idea. Think about the cognitive load of driving in a city you don't know. You are constantly scanning for threats, checking signs, worrying about the next exit.
You're basically in survival mode.
Exactly. You're in a state of hypervigilance. Now, what's the #1 enemy of a good golf swing?
Tension, distraction, getting in your own head.
Right. So if you get to the course with your cortisol levels spiked from traffic, your game is going to suffer. And if your game suffers, the whole mood of the meeting suffers. The source material says these luxury vehicles let golfers relax and prepare mentally for play.
So it's about creating a transition period.
It's the pivot point. You go from travel mode to game mode, or maybe deal mode. Think about it. You're in the back of a luxury SUV. It's quiet, it's cool. You're not yelling at the GPS. You can actually review your notes. You can clear your head. You are transitioning.
That makes perfect sense. If I'm driving, I'm at the mercy of the road. If I'm being driven, I am in command of myself.
And then there's the outward projection of that, the professional image.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. The arrival. I mean, Does it really matter if I pull up in a rental car versus, say, a black Escalade?
It matters a whole lot if you're the host. The source is explicit about client entertainment. If you invite a client for golf, you are responsible for their entire experience from door to door.
Right. If you tell me to meet you at a high-end club and I get lost and I have to find parking and haul my own bag up to the clubhouse, you just introduced a bunch of friction into my day.
And friction kills deals. But if a black car picks me up at my hotel, you've signaled that you handle details, that my time is valuable. It creates a kind of subconscious debt of gratitude.
It sets the frame. It says, I'm in control and I take care of things.
Exactly. And then there's a really practical side to this that the sources mention: safety and responsibility.
We can't ignore that. The 19th hole is a big part of golf culture.
Post-golf drinks, dinner, celebrating the deal. You have to be realistic about that.
And no one wants to be the designated driver when you're trying to build rapport with a client.
Nor should you be, legally or ethically. Professional transportation just removes that whole liability. You enjoy the dinner, have a drink, and you know everyone's getting back safely. It's simple risk management.
Okay, so we've got the why. Mental clarity, professional image, risk management. Now let's talk about the where. Why is Anaheim the main character in the story? I'd usually associate this kind of luxury with, I don't know, Newport Beach.
It's pure geography. Look at a map of Orange County. Anaheim is smack in the middle of the north and central parts. It's the strategic hub.
The source material calls it a hub for conventions, executive travel, and corporate headquarters.
Think about that ecosystem. You have the massive Anaheim Convention Center. People fly in from all over the world. They stay in those upscale hotels. But where does the real business get done?
Probably not on the convention floor under fluorescent lights.
Rarely. It's done on the golf course, so you've got this incredible synergy. You do your panels in the morning, then you hop in a car, and 20 minutes later, you're at a premier private club. Anaheim is the launch pad.
And the sources mention a specific workflow with airports that I found really interesting.
Yeah, the airport to golf course transfer.
That just sounds intense.
It's for the real road warriors. The people flying into John Wayne or LAX for the day, they don't even go to the hotel first. They land at 8:30 and their tee time is at 10:30.
Wow. I'm landing, grabbing my clubs, and going straight to the first tee.
And that's where a service like this becomes absolutely critical. If you tried to do that with a rental car, the shuttle, the line, finding the car, you would miss your tee time.
Oh, guaranteed.
The chauffeur service tracks the flight. They're literally watching the radar. If the plane's delayed 20 minutes, the driver is already rerouting to make up time. They meet you at baggage claim, take your bags, and you're moving while the guy who rented a car is still filling out paperwork.
It turns a logistical nightmare into a smooth itinerary.
It buys you time. That's the real currency.
Okay, so we're in the car, we've left the airport or the convention center, we're relaxed, where are we going? The source gives us a really solid list of courses, all accessible from Anaheim.
All within about 15 to 30 minutes, which is really the sweet spot. You don't want to be in the car for an hour.
Let's do a little virtual tour, because not all courses are the same, especially for business. I'll name the course, you give me the vibe check based on the analysis. Who are you taking where?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
First stop, Los Coyotes Country Club in Buena Park.
Okay, if we're putting these in boxes, Los Coyotes is the corporate heavyweight.
Well, yeah.
It's big, it's got 27 holes, it's super close to Anaheim, and it's known for hosting big, organized corporate tournaments and private events. It can handle volume. So if you're bringing a whole sales team, this is probably where you're headed. The vibe is active, professional.
Okay, big groups, high energy. Got it. Next up, Alta Vista Country Club in Placentia.
I call this one the classic choice. The source calls it a classic country club experience.
And what does classic mean in this context?
It means it's discreet, polished, it's not flashy, it's a private option for a business outing where you want things to feel established and solid. It says, we're reliable.
Okay, now for one that sounds a bit more guarded, Santa Ana Country Club.
Ah, yes, the exclusive enclave.
The source uses words like privacy and members only.
This is where a limo service is most at home. You go here for high-level privacy. It's not for a rowdy tournament. It's for a quiet, intense conversation with a major stakeholder. The place is pristine. And that refined atmosphere really demands a polished arrival. You just don't pull up in a dusty rideshare.
Got it. The power move location. How about Old Ranch Country Club in Seal Beach?
That's the upscale, relaxed option. It's near the coast. You get that ocean breeze. It's ideal for maybe couples or events where the quality is super high, but it's a little less stuffy. Impressive, but breathable.
And finally, there are the Costa Mesa options. Costa Mesa Country Club and Mesa Verde.
Two different vibes there. Costa Mesa Country Club is a great public facility, often used for competitive play, larger events.
Yeah.
But Mesa Verde Country Club, and that's described as the preferred spot for executive golf outings.
What makes it stand out?
History and prestige. It's a championship layout. If your client is a serious golfer, someone who really cares about course architecture, you take them to Mesa Verde. It shows you respect their game.
So depending on your goal, who you're meeting with, the chauffeur is pointing the car in a very different direction.
Exactly. The destination is part of the strategy, and the transportation is the thread that ties it all together.
Let's get into the hardware for a minute. The logistics of luxury. Because you can't just squeeze a foursome and their clubs into any old car.
No, and this is where the gamble with a standard rideshare can really backfire. The sources highlight two main vehicle types: executive sedans and luxury SUVs.
Sedans are for the solo traveler.
Right. If it's just you, or maybe you and a partner, a Mercedes S-Class or something similar is perfect. It's elegant, comfortable. But the luxury SUV, that's the real workhorse of the golf world.
Walk me through what you call the foursome problem.
Okay, so picture it. You've got 4 executives, 4 adults. Then you have 4 big, heavy golf bags. Plus, they probably have luggage, right? Garment bags with suits.
That is a huge amount of stuff.
It is. You can't play Tetris with that in a normal car. The trunk won't close. Someone's got a bag on their lap. It's a clown car situation.
Which is definitely not the professional image we were talking about.
Not at all. So the luxury SUV, a Suburban, an Escalade, is designed for that. It swallows all 4 sets of clubs and the luggage, and all 4 passengers are still sitting comfortably with plenty of legroom. It's all about capacity.
And beyond the vehicle, there's the human element, the chauffeur. The source talks about local route knowledge.
Which in Southern California is more valuable than gold. Seriously.
But we all have Waze and Google Maps.
Yeah.
Is a human driver really that much better than the algorithm?
I would argue yes in this specific context. Because the algorithm reacts to traffic, a great driver anticipates it.
How so?
A professional knows that this specific off-ramp always backs up at 3 p.m., or that there's an Angels game tonight, so the 57 is going to be a parking lot. They know the little side streets that the apps sometimes miss.
They have that institutional knowledge.
It's the difference between arriving 10 minutes early and relaxed or 10 minutes late and panic. But there's another service element here that I think is the unsung hero: equipment handling.
Right, the concierge aspect.
So the chauffeur helps load and unload the golf bags. Now think about the alternative. You drive yourself, you pull up, pop the trunk, and now you have to wrestle your 40-pound bag out of the back. You might scuff your shoes or tweak your back before you even take a practice swing.
This is clumsy.
With the chauffeur, the trunk opens, you walk to the entrance. The chauffeur handles the bag, gets it to the caddy. You don't touch your clubs until you're on the range.
It removes that physical hassle.
It keeps your hands clean, keeps your clothes crisp. It's a small thing, but it's about preserving all your energy for the game itself.
I want to zoom out to the organizational level. We've talked about the individual. But what about the poor corporate planner who has to organize a retreat for 20 executives?
Oh, for them, a service like this is an absolute lifesaver. The source talks about group coordination.
I can just imagine the nightmare of 20 execs all renting their own cars, getting lost, showing up at different times.
It's like herding cats. Someone gets a flat tire, someone oversleeps, someone goes to the wrong course, the whole schedule gets thrown off.
So how does the service solve that?
You centralize it all. Instead of everyone for themselves, the service coordinates all the pickups. Maybe it's a convoy of SUVs or a big Sprinter van. They make sure everyone arrives together.
So it centralizes the accountability.
Exactly. And crucially, it ensures everyone gets back safely after the event. If you're the planner, you have 1 number to call to find your team, not 20. It just simplifies the chaos.
So when we zoom all the way out, what does this all mean? What's the big picture here?
It means we need to stop looking at this kind of transportation as just a cost and start seeing it as an investment in performance.
Friction removal.
That's the key takeaway. It's about converting wasted time driving, parking, stressing into usable time. Time for networking, for relaxing, for preparing.
It's taking the 90 minutes you would spend fighting traffic and turning it into 90 minutes of building rapport with your client in the back of an SUV.
Or just a quiet space where you can breathe. And if that 90 minutes helps you close a deal, the cost of the car service becomes a rounding error. It's nothing.
It's about protecting the main asset. And that asset is your focus.
That's it.
We've been pulling these insights from the expertise of Limo Service Anaheim, specifically their guys on this. They're located on S. Roche Street in Anaheim, and they seem to be the ones who really have this system dialed in on the ground.
They clearly get the landscape, both literally and figuratively. They're not just moving people, they're facilitating business.
So before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought. It's something that really stuck with me while reading about this psychology of the arrival.
Go for it.
We spend so much time preparing for the main event, right? We practice our swing, we prep our pitch deck, we research the client. But how often do we completely sabotage all of that hard work in the hour before the event even starts?
That's the big question. If performance is the goal, in business or in sports, why do we so often treat the journey there as just an afterthought?
Maybe the most important part of the entire round happens before you even step onto the grass.
I think that's absolutely right. You control the environment, you control the outcome.
Something to think about the next time you're booking a trip to Anaheim. That's it for this deep dive. We'll see you on the next one.
Safe travels.